Hey, did you hear the rumors about the head department?
No, what's wrong?
I think they have completely gone mad. Zordenko told me they don't want to stop using the new genetic material and now they want to use it on themselves? Peter is working on a vaccine right now too.
GSC Game World cut a lot of content from Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl, causing it to go through a development hell that took years to end. In 2007, Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl was released, and it was an enjoyable and thrilling ride through the zone. In 2014, a modding group named Desaway released a fan remake named Lost Alpha that promised to combine all the elements that were cut from Shadow of Chernobyl. This is my review of Stalker Lost Alpha. Graphics-wise, it stands true to the older game builds, dating back about 10 years with the exception of updated lighting. It was enjoyable to see that the areas were more overgrown and you could see nature reclaiming the zone. The new maps were great and it was refreshing to explore new grounds. Lost Alpha added back vehicles, cut mutants, new areas, older animations and AI system. The driving sections of Lost Alpha were fun, but there were only 2 or 3 maps where vehicles were useful, since all the other maps are cluttered with obstacles where your car gets endlessly stuck in. Vehicles still don't quite function as they should, meaning they run out of fuel within minutes and take too much damage. They also tend to roll over way too easily, which made driving very tedious. As I said before, the new maps are great, but they were almost lifeless. Very few stalkers and monsters roamed the map, and nothing was going on. The AI system was switched to an older and rustier version for the sake of cut content, but at least the new death animations were indeed a bit better. The gameplay of Lost Alpha feels unbalanced and restricted. There is either nothing going on or too much going on at once. The main storyline missions were largely fetch quests that forced you to walk long distances of empty wastelands just to send you right back where you came from. It's as if the developers forgot to add the new areas into the missions, so they were forced in. Right after, there were missions where you had to defend yourself from endless waves of snorks, zombies, anomalies, and radiation, which happened in the X-10 laboratory. It just ruins the overall harmony and pacing. There was even one certain mission where you had to shoot down helicopters with a limited amount of rockets, whilst evading unfairly accurate helicopter fire. Sometimes you'd even stumble across unnecessary invisible walls that didn't let the player use shortcuts. The clunky script and dialogue really didn't make the game any better, with unfunny references to video games and unnecessary faction additions like the Darkstalkers faction was.
I fully trust you. With all those technical and engineering degrees you have, I don't think it is possible to make the slightest miscalculation.
Okay, Strioman. Stop standing around.
At times, Lost Alpha almost even felt like a satire of Stalker, with a funny voice acting, forced survival elements, silly storyline, and with endless bugs and glitches. If I could mention one positive side to the gameplay, it would be the underground atmosphere that was captured just perfectly, but only at times when it wasn't rushed. For example, the X7 lab was a decent mix of bizarreness, fear, unknowingness, and maze elements. The Pripyat sewers was another fun area to explore and fight in, with great maze elements and fantastic scenery. In conclusion, I have to say I liked the first and last 30 minutes of Lost Alpha, but everything that was in between felt lackluster and underwhelming. The remade maps looked nice, but the awkward script, crude missions, lifeless areas, and lazy ending made Lost Alpha playable proof why the cut content wouldn't have worked in Shadow of Chernobyl. Lost Alpha is playable, in the most primitive definition of the word. If you really want to enjoy the cut content, I would suggest Oblivion Lost, RMA, or Oblivion Lost Remake.